Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Plotlines. I'm your host, Connor, and today we're going to be talking about Norm Macdonald and his interesting Twitter conversation with Michael Knowles. So I'm going to be showing a clip from Pints with Aquinas, Matt Fradd's interview with Michael Knowles, and he gets into that. So I'm going to show a short clip about that. I'm going to have the link to that in the description so you guys can watch the full episode because if you haven't watched this episode with Michael Knowles and Matt Fradd, definitely do that. It's a great interview. So yeah, but first I just want to say Norm Macdonald is a pretty impressive comedian. I first came across his work in The Middle, uh, which is Neil Flynn and Patricia Heaton, and basically the premise of it is a quirky family in the middle of Indiana, and it's in my opinion it's one of the more accurate depictions of the Midwest in comedy shows. A lot of them get it very wrong, and I think this is a pretty good depiction. Patricia Heaton is a good Catholic, and as well as a good actress. So that's where I got to know him first, know his work, and then I've listened to his work on SNL. I've watched his work on SNL. He got fired from SNL because he was making O.J. Simpson jokes during the trial, as well as he made a lot of Hillary Clinton jokes, Bill Clinton jokes, and that sort of thing. So he made fun of the right people, in my opinion, and I think everyone who's watching probably agrees that those are the right people to make fun of. Anyway, so I'm gonna show this interview, and then I'll talk about it, and then we'll talk more about his legacy. Okay.
60 people.
Wow.
And I thought, and I don't know why. I don't know where he saw
Was it
something
a
that I did.
mistake?
It wasn't a mistake, a
Just
happy mistake if it
Michael
was.
got
Yeah,
followed
I
by
really
Norm
didn't get it.
Macdonald.
And so the thing about Twitter is when you each follow each other, you can send private messages. But I said, I was so in awe. I've met plenty of celebrities.
Yeah.
Truly in awe of this man. I said, I don't want to abuse my follow privileges here. I don't want to send him a private message. And one day he sent out a tweet where he said, I'm just in such pain. It's just so hard. It's so hard. Knowing now that he had been fighting cancer for 10 years secretly,
Bless him.
I now recognize that's what he was talking about. At the time, I read that as this is an eccentric, wild guy, and maybe he's suicidal. And I said, okay, I'm going to reach out. And I just messaged him and I said, Norm, I've never messaged you before because I'm simply in awe of your genius. But if I can be of any help in what appears to be a moment of despair, please just let me know. And he writes back and he says, thank you, Michael. Appreciate the note. I'm okay. But I would like to talk because to not accept your offer would be prideful or something. I said, okay, all right, Norm. What? And instantly we're talking about religion. And I haven't published these. I mean, when I say these were messages, I mean they became essays that we would write to each other every night for weeks, like 800, 900 word essays in some cases, and
was it what? You trying to convince him of something?
I didn't have to convince him of a thing.
So when you say they were like essays, what were you going back and forth about? Suffering?
Well, I asked him about suffering. I said, Norm, do you have a view of the world, that sort of can help you make sense of this suffering? And he said, oh yeah, Michael, I know you're a Christian. He said, yeah, I've just always known that the Bible is true. I've always known that Christianity is true. And he says, and you can never tell with him because you never know if he's like playing with you because he always played so dumb, but he was so brilliant. And
Okay, so that's what I wanted to show. He goes on to also talk about how he almost had Norm Macdonald on his show, but because of his cancer, Norm wasn't able to go into the studio, and that it would have been like a Skype interview or whatever. And Michael wasn't going to do that because he didn't know about the cancer, and he didn't that wasn't the kind of show that he was going to do. So anyway, so that's kind of a sad thing that we missed out on. Norm also had a moment on a sort of it was kind of like The Voice, but for comedians. So new comedians would come on and uh, make jokes, and then he Norm was one of the judges, and uh this guy made an anti-Christian joke. He was like, joking about how Harry Potter is just as important to him as it, and that he should be able to do see Harry Potter as just as important as the Bible or whatever. It was a dumb joke from the start, but Norm was like, it was a joke about Christianity and how we value the Bible. But anyway, so Norm basically comes back and is like, "Yeah, that wasn't funny." Also, everyone makes Christian jokes and that sort of thing. So he also like, didn't you know that a lot of sort of the Harry Potter mythos, some of the story comes from the Bible, and that J.K. Rowling said that herself. And the guy's just like, he doesn't have anything to say because he didn't really think too hard about it. Obviously, it's just a dumb anti-Christian comedian, because it's the easiest thing to make fun of. You don't want to make fun of Islam or something like that because you'll get in trouble, but you can make fun of Christianity all the time. And anyway, so it's just interesting watching Norm uh, defend Christianity like that. And yeah, so he died of cancer. I think it was probably within a year. I can't remember when exactly it was, but it's very sad that he died, and his comedy is pretty good. Though obviously it's, a bit vulgar and a bit inappropriate at times, but he's quite funny. He also played Death on Family Guy. He voiced Death on Family Guy, which I think is kind of funny. Um, he was very aware that he was gonna die, and let's hope and pray that he was prepared when he died. I think we should all pray for the repose of his soul, because I I don't really know what kind of Christian he was, but and Michael Knowles had these interactions with him, so I hope those had some impact. But it's just quite interesting seeing Norm Macdonald in this situation. And yeah, he just is a very entertaining comedian, and I think we should look at his stuff as well as what he believed, and put two and two, as well as, hmm, he was just seems like a pretty humble guy. He didn't have that much education, but he seems smarter than most people who have really good education. So that's all I have to say really about Norm. But he seems like a Christian. He seems like he was a Christian. What kind, I don't know. But let's pray for him. Let's pray for the repose of his soul. Thank you all for watching. Uh, on Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, my interview that I'm doing it today, but uh, it will be released on Friday. It will be with Mark from Tradman. We're going to be talking about the movie Michael Collins with Liam Neeson and Alan Rickman, and that's going to be we're going to be talking about Irish nationalism and the IRA and that sort of thing, and as well as how Catholicism relates to all of that. So thank you all for watching. Also, I'm on Rumble, so if you're subscribed here on YouTube, please go over to Rumble as well. Subscribe there. So if YouTube cancels me, you'll have a place to go to see my content. Thank you all for watching. Please uh, come back soon.